Hello again, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Book in the Bottle. I'm Morgan, as you all well know, hopefully by now. I have yet again chosen one of my Kindle books. I had to choose it just because this episode might be slightly longer than the other ones, just because of the backstory. So, to put a few things in perspective, today we're focusing on Evan Williams Peach, pure leaf tea, mixed together. Delicious. This is Peach Hibiscus. Peach and Peach. Delicious. And the book is called Sweet Tea and Second Chances by Dylan Crush. I just recently discovered this author when this book came up on my Kindle and fell in love. She writes really spunky heroines and super steamy heroes. And this book in particular, I think, was the best book for me to start by her because it spoke to me so well. The premise of this book is about high school sweethearts. They grew up together, and they break up in college, and what happens after. It speaks to me so well because my husband and I have known each other since we were in our diapers. My uncle and his parents were great friends. And we were on the same T-ball or A-ball team. Our dads coached us. In middle school, we each had crushes on each other, but never told one another, thinking that neither of us really had a shot at each other. We just stayed friends. And then in high school, he finally got the balls. Can I say that? To ask me out in 11th grade, and we started dating. It was one of those things where you're just like, oh my god, this is the one. And then we went to college, which is why I'm wearing this. Yay, Alpha Phi Omega. Before anyone gets crazy, it's a community service fraternity. I am a law-abiding citizen. My husband says I was quite boring in college. Anyways, he joined a different fraternity, one that you would see on most movies when thinking of fraternities. Yep. And we broke up for a good year and a half, 2 years. But then we got back together, and we've been together ever since. So, including the breakup, I mean, we've been together for, since 2006. So, whatever that is, 15 years. Half of our lives. This book had a lot of scenes or instances in it that kind of reminded me of what we had, and just really pulled at my heartstrings. So, let's get into it. So, Sweet Tea and Second Chances is book one in the Lovebird Cafe series by Dylan Crush. There's 3.5 books. There is a book before this that's like a novella, I guess is what you would call it, labeled 0.5. But it's a great little series. She writes where it's super fun to read, easy to read with a little bit of comedy in there, and I just really liked her. And every once in a while you need something that's kind of like lighthearted and fun to read and, you know, gets you out of your mental state for whatever day that you have had. And this book really did it.
Okay, so let's read the back of the book. The boy next door is about to rock my world. Again. There's no room in my new life for an old flame, especially not when the sparks still smolder. But the only way to claim my big city future is by cutting ties with my small town past. And I find myself caught between a rock of regret and the hard plains of Robbie Jordan's chest. I only need to survive until he fixes up my grandparents' house and I can cash out. But he's got a truck full of tools and knows exactly how to use them. Not to mention the things that man can do with a hammer. Snag your copy of Sweet Tea and Second Chances today and relax into Swallow Springs, Missouri, where a cocky rooster rules the roost and all of life's problems can be solved while sipping on a nice cold glass of sweet tea. Just like the book says, It just goes great with a glass of sweet tea. So please grab one while you're reading it. I know I'm about to.
Let's head on over to the drink. So I used Pure Leaf tea and the peach whiskey, bourbon whiskey, to make my drink, because this is sweet tea and second chances. I thought it went well together. Although I do know that Dylan is more of like a tequila drinker. I had nothing to make a margarita, so here we go. And honestly, I made this more while reading this book than making a margarita. Mostly because I read this in the beginning of winter. All right, so let's jump right into the whiskey. So Evan Williams whiskey in the peach flavor says the smoothness of Evan Williams with a fresh peach taste, perfect as a chilled shot, on the rocks, or mixed. This is bottled by Old Evan Williams Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky. I will say that I'm not somebody who takes straight shots of whiskey, not kind of in my wheelhouse, but when mixed with a drink, it gives you that flavor that you're looking for, where you can kind of taste the whiskey in it, but at the same time, it's not overpowering because it has that peach flavor. Now, Pure Leaf is probably one of my favorite teas to drink. I fell in love with their sweet tea. Honestly, it's the best sweet tea that I've had. Correction. Except for when I went to Alabama and they made real windowsill sweet tea. That was delicious. I wish I had the recipe. If you have it and you're from Alabama, will you send it to me? I'd love it. Don't know if it would work here in New York because I don't have much weather for that, nor do I have a really good windowsill in this house. Regardless, if you have it, please send it. It's delicious. I miss it. Pure Leaf comes pretty close. What they say about this tea. This Pure Leaf herbal iced tea is brewed from naturally caffeine-free hibiscus, so you can enjoy Pure Leaf at any time of the day. The delicate hibiscus is perfectly completed by refreshing flavor of peach to bring you an herbal tea that is literally blooming with flavor. And I would agree. This tea tastes amazing. On its own, it's really, really good, but when you give it that little extra hint of peach with this, it's like biting into a peach that's been soaked in whiskey. And like I said, the book is great, the drink is great. Pair them together, enjoy them like I have. There's nothing better than sitting down to relax after a long day and having something as sweet as this to warm you up while you read a really great little love story. And with that, that is our book and the bottle for today. Hey, I just wanted to give one little more shout out to Alpha Phi Omega. Can you see that? I pledged in spring 2010. My nickname was Tinkerbell. If you knew me then, I had a bag and I wore a lot of shirts with Tinkerbell on it. She's a badass, so I like to associate with her, even though I'm probably not that badass. But I'd like to think I am. Alpha Phi Omega is a great fraternity to get into. It is co-ed. There are boys and girls. You mostly focus on community service. I loved being a part of this fraternity. I made lifelong friends, and we really gave back to the community at the school that we were in. My chapter was called Epsilon Nu. Alpha Phi Omega is a national fraternity. You can find it on almost any campus. But I graduated from SUNY Oswego, so hello, all of you. If you get the chance, it gives you a great feel of brotherhood, womanhood. I don't think that's the right word. It gives you a great camaraderie. And honestly, it was a great decision on my part to be a part of it, because I got to give back to a community that took me in honestly the biggest years of your life when you're learning how to live on your own, and made lasting friendships.